Alright. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another live stream. It's time for the daily dab. Getting all situated here with some fresh Q-tips. Got a few things to talk about today from the growing side of the house. And hopefully it'll bring you guys some new information, give you guys a little insight into my garden, my practices, etc. Some of you may have already seen on Instagram, I got the new toy in yesterday. I call it a toy, but it's really a tool, you know. So we're gonna take a look at that. All right, Q-tips are ready to go. Alrighty, let me get this chat pulled up real quick. I got the drugs. Hope you guys are having a good, productive Monday. If you're not, get your shit together, because it's fucking Monday. Today's supposed to be the productive day. So get your shit together and be productive. But first, hang out with me, because that's fun. Cash fans. It's that time. Shout out to Paul, Albert, Squish, Bunt, Will, Zion. What's good? Lisa, how you doing? Oh yeah. Yo, go ahead, mister. Let me go grab my runts real quick.
She got no choice of herself in the future, so she act like she don't like me. Gotta get it on niggas always with it. Since this one in a minute, gotta shoot this always fitting on your blue clutching to the door. This is always hitting up, go in the freezer. Hit a dab in the go in the free cup. The dragon balls like someone needs none. Someone needs none. Someone needs none.
Buongiorno. Give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna mess around and desert you. Fucking Rick Roll, baby. Let's listen to this Runts and D8 Anthem from Mystic the Goat. Show me what you got, Mystic. This is the Runts Anthem. Hey, yeah, fuck with those. Hold on, let me put this on the speaker though. I fuck with this. Hey. Oh yeah, I'm fucking with this shit. I got a vibe. Yo. My man got me vibing on a Monday. Woo. Yo, this shit is lively as fuck. Yo, this shit goes hard, Mystic. Fuck. All right. Couple things grow related today. Athena AG sent me a big ass fucking 5-gallon jug of Balance. It's a pH up buffer. Magic toilet water. Woo! Yeah, yeah. Clones finally got their little feet dug in and they're ready to go. Magic toilet water. Magic toilet water. 82 degrees. 59% humidity. That will go up when I shut this door. Magic toilet water. 2.4 EC, 6.1 pH. And we got the new toy in the Izzy. Toy in the Izzy. Oh, what is that? What is that? Oh shit. Is that sun? Let's find out. Pro check. Does that say Taros 12? Volumetric water content, temperature, and pour water EC? Why, yes it does. Yes Yes, it does. Well, would you look at that? We're down to 50%, 79 degrees, and 3.1 EC in the medium, available to the plant. And I could leave this here. It's on 4 AA batteries, but I could leave this here and watch this in real time adjust, as you can see right there. So now I can actually accurately measure drybacks, and as it drops percentage on drybacks, the EC should spike, and this will accurately measure it now. And I can hook up a bunch of other sensors to this ProCheck. A GS3, which is your grow sense, a Teros 10, which only does water content and mineral. Water potential. I mean, there's so many different sensors that can be used with this. So many. Atmos 14, RH temp, VPD. So many different sensors. But let's go back to the Teros 12. So, I know the screen is hard to see, that's why I have to move it around. But, oh man, I'm stoked. I'm beyond stoked. I'm fucking going for the perfect run. I still got some of these Mendo Breath clones. I need to give them a good wet down today. The cubes are getting dried out, but sexy roots, baby. Sexy, sexy roots. And then my caked up cherries cuts that I took, I don't know how they're doing. We'll see. I'll open it up in a couple days.
But I wanna get to my best. Ain't never gave me my all, but I'ma give it a rest. Ain't never gonna rest till we both meet our death. And I ain't never been afraid, that's some shit I said. I live in this world that's understanding our next. Y'all will be back until we pass all the tests. Might as well invest your time in your craft. Don't worry, as long as you got a place.
Pulse or that is 10 times better than the Pulse, hands down. The Pulse doesn't read pour water EC, it reads bulk media EC, which is way different. Excuse me, I clear my turpcase. Farmer Freeman just hit me up with the sex test, I think. Man, that's good customer service right there. He hit me up and he said, hey, sorry, since these are being done on the slower method, results will be ready tomorrow, not today. And remember, I had to send them 2 samples from each plant, one cleaned and one uncleaned. Oh, my ear. That hurt. So he'll get back to me tomorrow with results. But that's good customer service. The fact that he even went out of his way to contact me and let me know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to hit him up. That's pretty good. This Mendo breath is curing up this bomb. Straight fucking terps. There's like a little puddle of terps at the top. That shit is like literally moving as I pour it down. Terp pools everywhere. Terps. Terp trap. Let's go, Mendo. Let's go, Mendo. Oh, my homie, thank you. At least one person did it. I said that shit 20 times on stream before anybody said it. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Where's everybody at? I've got to jar all this up today, but I'm gonna steal a dab. Yo, them terp pockets are crazy, son. About to take a little video real quick. Hold on. I just want you guys to see this Mendo real quick before I do any jarring up. See them terp pockets? See that terp layer on the top that was forming? Look at that shit. Fire. I'll upload that. You guys can see it in a minute. Take another dabberoni here. I'm gonna go ahead and try and upload a video. I just want you guys to see this today to YouTube, and it'll be an edited video showing basically everything that I did today. Not today, this past week. So I'll show you right now too, just so you guys can see. I'm actually gonna do some of the work right now, but man, sixth node. So Nick, what I'll do is I'll wait until my plants have 6 nodes, and then I'll top it back down to the 3rd node. That's just me personally. I'm really aggressive with my shit. Don't do like me. Probably fuck your shit up. But anyways, I have gotta get in these guts. Let me grab a dab. Now I'm not even gonna fuck with the terps down there. I'm just gonna grab a little bink off the edge here, you know. Bink. I'm actually gonna do that to grab the dab. Bink. That wasn't a big enough bink. I need another bink. Bink, 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 bink. That works. Lego. 1 ounce GG4 press popped up on your recommended from 2 years ago. That's funny. Yo, this lid. There you go. Don't be stupid, lid. Alright. Go ahead and give you guys this link real quick. Cheers, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and throw you down on the banger for this one. Dun it. 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 Bleeding as a whistle. Who is your daddy? That's right, Bunt. My power level is 9,000. Don't try and use your scouter on me, I might break it. The Mindo. Goddamn, son. Mindo's hitting like the runts. Compliments to the blower. Fuck. Woof. It has that baby shit funky gas on it. Oh yeah. Fire. Oh yeah, baby. Now it's time to get to work. Feel good now. Let's go knock some garden shit out. Alright, so really the focus of what I wanted to do today was just really finish up all of the grow room shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to finish calibrating sensors, right? The plants have been in there for a week. And I just now got them to start taking off yesterday. The reason for that being, when I got my humidifier, I didn't realize I was going to have to clean it every month. I have one of the Horticat U80 Pros. And what happens is, towards the end of flower, when you don't need as much humidity being added to the room, the RO water will get stagnant in the tank, and even though it's RO water, it will still go stagnant and bad, and create a little bit of like a slime buildup, right? So you like a biofilm, and so you have to clean that out, and it's really, really easy to do. All it is 4 screws, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and you slide that cover off. Once you take the front cover off, you'll see the tank right there. And the tank construction is really simple. It has a top on it with a spout. You take that top off the tank, it's a square tank. You take the top off, you scrub and clean out the whole spout area where the mist comes out from, and the tank top. And then you take the unit off the wall, and you can pour They recommend pouring a solution of CLR and water into the tank, let it sit for 10 to 60 minutes, and then open up the tank drain and let it all flow out. What I did was just rinse it real good with RO, and then scrubbed it with a little nylon brush. Got all the slime off the tank sides and all that, and then I gave the little ultrasonic disc that create the humidity, I gave those a wipe down and a brush, and then I just used some cleanse, some hypochlorous acid. I didn't use CLR, and it cleaned it all real good, and then I put it back together, and that got my humidity working properly again. So my humidity output wasn't where it was supposed to be, so my humidifier, normally within 24 hours it'll catch up and hit my set point. Well, it was struggling to maintain 40% humidity, so I knew something was wrong in the room, and so that's why I was like, all right, I need to go ahead and check the humidifier. Probably just needs to be cleaned. Sure enough, that fixed it. I gave it 24 hours, and within the first night cycle, the humidity got up to its set point. So now I'm just going to verify that, you know, the humidity will stay where it needs to be, especially once I start the irrigation cycle. The plants are going to start, you know, transpiring. But if the humidity in the room isn't where it needs to be in the first place, the stomata are going to close and they're not going to transpire and release more humidity into the air. So I had to get the humidity up in the room, fix the humidifier. That's done. Now the plants are going to start to transpire and drink, which they are, which is evident in the fact that now instead of being droopy, they're starting to pray and turn green because they were starting to fade a little bit after the transplant. So admittedly, my first week after transplant is always a little bit slower than I would like because I never really have the room set up from the get-go. I have to fix it, reset it. So there's always something that needs to be done. Irrigation has to be set up still. So my first week's usually a little slow, and then it kicks into overdrive the second and third week. But I got everything set up yesterday. I ran all the drip lines. I'm gonna transplant one more plant into, I'm just gonna use a 6-inch cube because I have some. And I'm gonna throw one more plant in there probably to give me an even number of plants on each side. And then, yeah, so got the humidity right, the irrigation now, and they're gonna start to feed and transpire. So they're getting, you know, 2.4-ish EC right now at 5.8 pH. And the humidifier is a Horticat U80 Pro. What's up, Devin? Is brown blotches on old fan leaves indicative of calcium deficiency? I would have to see it, but typically yes. But if it's a calcium deficiency, you'll also see twisted leaves on the new growth. With a reduced calcium uptake, basically the plants don't have enough calcium to support the building of new cell walls. And so the growth will come out twisted and contorted and stuff on the new growth. Sorry, I got something from work that was kind of high priority that I'm trying to check out real quick. Yeah, no, I agree with Mike. That's a pretty time-intensive request. I'm not going to do that. You are seeing the leaf twist? Yeah, probably calcium deficient, bro. What EC are you running overall? Are you seeing any other issues? Are you seeing any yellowing? Any light green leaves? Are your branches hollow or are they thick? I'm assuming they're going to be hollow if you have calcium deficiency. I work for an international consulting firm. I'm not doing this. This is not my job. I don't even touch that shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not. There's no way. How are you gonna throw me into this and be like, I need this no later than COB Wednesday, and I don't even work on this shit. Haha, no. Sorry, I'd gotta deal with some of this stuff. Reddening of the stems can be so many things. In my experience, it depends on what stage of growth you're in and where you get the reddening at first. But typically, if you see it on the fan leaf, right, it'll be in the petiole, which is where all the fan leaves meet, that little dot where all the leaves join together before it becomes the fan stem. That's called the petiole. And if it's in the petiole and it's moving down the stem, that means it could be a couple things. A, it could be a natural UV response. B, it could be a micronutrient deficiency or uptake problem. Or C, it could just be a macronutrient deficiency. So typically it's going to be a couple of things. It's either going to be calcium, right, or a CalMag deficit, which causes an uptake issue with all the other major elements, nitrogen, phosphorus, right? Both of those things are actually in high demand, both in flower and in veg. Phosphorus is really used for a lot of rooting. It's the energy element of the plant. And nitrogen, typically in veg, nitrogen is going to be the culprit of like your chlorosis before you see any reddening. So a lot of people say, well, in veg, if you get reddening stems, then it's nitrogen, and if it's in flower, it's phosphorus, and that's only sometimes true. You know what I'm saying? So typically, if you're seeing a chlorosis of the leaves, which is a yellowing, or an overall light green appearance, then it's also a nutrient, like a nitrogen deficiency, which could be caused by the lack of calcium and magnesium, right? Since they provide an uptake, and we know about Mulder's chart, right? So you have to then assess, are you giving the plants enough nitrogen? Are you giving it enough calcium? What other signs are you seeing? So you can pinpoint whether it's the uptake or if it's the actual nutrient itself just being deficient and not being supplied in enough. So I would check those things, see if you have any yellowing of the leaves. If you don't have yellowing of the leaves, but you also have like the purpling of the stems and the petioles, most likely what's happening, and you have the blotching, most likely what's happening is you're just having a CalMag lockout or deficiency, which is therefore locking out or restricting the uptake of phosphorus, which is displaying as the reddening of the petiole down into the stems, and it'll continue into the main stalk of the whole entire plant. There's certain strains that do just have red phenotypes grown by AK. So you might have that type of ICC, like the ICC cut that I just got done running. The leaves and everything were really green, but the buds were like magenta red. But typically, over the years, what I thought was like always the excuse for red stems was like, oh, it's normal, or oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. Like, I've learned it's not really okay. Okay, the only time that I can really say it's okay is when you've done a full nutrient analysis on your tissue of your plant and you know that it's not lacking in any of your required nutrients and you're still exhibiting the red. Then you know that it's either a generalized stress response, right, or it's genetic. Okay, so the generalized stress response that can come from cropping, like super cropping, topping, UV, all types of things, right? So, you know, if your leaves are tacoing a bit, you probably are running too much heat, which is going to fuck with your uptake. Going to uptake too much of things and throw off the balance quickly in your medium, which could be why your stems are red but still growing pretty much okay, because you're just kind of like force feeding it too much. But if you back off, actually it might do better. I don't see chat being corrected at all, Bunt. Grab a simple infrared thermometer and just check your leaf surface temperature and you'll be able to tell what it is. If your room is too cold, your plant's not gonna grow. It's not. It got changed to suntan? I thought that you said suntan. What? LECs are great, man. LECs are awesome. They're great for veg. And I would love to use them as mixed lighting in this LED room, actually. Yeah, see, and what lights are you growing with, AK? So typically you want your leaf surface temperature between 78 and 82. Bring your leaf surface temperatures down. They're too high. That's why your leaves are tacoing. Alright. Bunt, you're fucking high, bro. Yeah, your leaf surface temps are too high. Get your leaf surface temp down. What's up, J-Rock? My room's typically at 82. It just depends on what I have to do. Like for right now, for example, the clones are small, right? So if I were to take my infrared gun in there right now, I think it's in the house. If I were to take it in there and measure the leaf surface temperature, I guarantee you my leaf surface temperatures are below where I want them right now because the lights are so far above them. But if I were to increase the room temp right now, I can bring that up. You know what I'm saying? But if I bring that up, I need to adjust the humidity too for the VPD. So it changes throughout the grow, really. Yes, I keep my my pH between 5.5 and 5.8 most of the grow. Most of the grow. In veg, I might run a little bit on the lower side, and then I might raise it a little bit in flower. Got some good Q&A going on right now. All right, that looks underfed. I can already tell you right now. Feed that bitch. And it's not getting enough light. Stem looks fine. It looks generally just hungry, right? And if your plant's hungry, calcium and magnesium are two of the things that are gonna get used up like a lot. So I would say you need to increase your overall feed first and foremost. And then if that doesn't fix the issue, then add more CalMag. If you just add more CalMag right now, and I'm talking to Bunt, if you just add more CalMag right now, you might throw off the ratio that you have, which the rest of the plant does look overall healthy, minus the slight chlorosis. So I would say if you increase your overall feed, I think it would be more beneficial, and you might accomplish what you want and have a more vigorous plant overall. Easy to lower, harder to keep it high. What? Why 5 instead of 6? 5 instead of 6 what? What are you talking about? Look at it. Yeah, just sunlight right now, I can tell, yeah. Day 5, you got swelling? Hell yeah. That's good shit. Alright, so let me see what else we got here. Cool. Alright, if anybody else has any more questions, now's a good time to ask, because we just had the most spontaneous like Q&A / troubleshooting session. So if anybody else has any more questions, let me know. Bro, I'm about to fucking take the Discord back to how I had it, back to fucking basics. This kid came in and tried to set up all this fancy shit, and it's just fucking retarded now. So I just wanted to go back to the most fucking normal shit, how I had it. Right? It's just, it's stupid. Like, I don't need a Discord for all that shit. I just want it so you guys can hang out and talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's all fucked up. It's so annoying. Wait. All right. Peace out, Lisa. Have a good day. So let's see real quick. You know what? I left this one open right now. Everybody's able to chat right now. Oh, at least on here, but on the Discord, yeah, I don't know. It's stupid. I'll fix all that shit. Alright, so that's a good one. Switching between vegetative and generative growth to control stretch. So, typically controlling the stretch is going to be a temperature, a light, both intensity and spectrum, and that's basically it. Yeah. So if you can keep the spectrum more on the blue side, you can reduce stretch, right? If you can keep the intensity just where it's supposed to be, then it will decrease the plant stretch. And if you look up how temperature affects stem elongation, the bigger the temperature difference between night and day temps, the more stem elongation that you get, right? So that concept in growing is called diff, right? Short for differential. So what you want to do is you can make that diff smaller. So if you typically run a 10-degree difference between night and day, you can run a 5-degree difference and it'll decrease stretch. Then you can get into what's called negative diff, which is then when you take your night temps and you make it warmer than the first 5 to 6 hours of your daytime temperatures. Now that's a negative diff. You've switched it now, and that's going to really make the plant not want to stretch at all. So you can also do things like SI and kelp, which has natural PGRs in it, that will increase stacking. And then the other thing is the dry back and the EC spikes. So talking more specifically to the crop steering techniques of generative growth, you're going to have a longer dry back, which means you stop your last feeding of the day sooner, and then you start your first feeding of the day later. What that does is, let's say you normally have a 30% dry back overnight, you're maybe going to be pushing like a 40 or 50% dry back, right? When you do that, your EC spike is going to be maybe going from like a 4 to a 5, you're going to be going from like a fucking 4 to like a 7 overnight, right? And you're going to spike your EC and the medium by using that dry back without even having to adjust the nutrients too much. That dry back is going to set the medium up the next day to start at a higher EC, and then as it feeds throughout the day, it'll knock it back down some, but then, let's say throughout the course of the day, you get from your 7 EC back down to your, 3.5, and then at the end of the night, you're going to set yourself up to have another large dry back so that you go to another EC spike of up to maybe about 6 or 7 in the medium, and a drop down of 30-40% in moisture content. It's going to be relative, so you'll figure out that swing and you'll just dial in that swing to where you're spiking it and you're increasing your dry backs. And what that does in combination with the other stuff is it makes the stacking really, really, really intense, and it pretty much eliminates stretch. You only need to do that for the first 3 weeks growing by 8K. Don't do it the whole time. What's up, Matt? But that little one even looks hungry. Get him under some light, and maybe that will increase the uptake. So here's a concept that you have to think about, right? This is going to bunt directly. The plants that you just showed me, they look like they're hungry. You may want to wait on feeding them, okay? Here's why. The nutrients that it wants and needs could already be available in that soil that you gave them. However, it might not be uptaking any of that shit, right? Which is why it has a general, like, overall healthy appearance, but it's kind of like, it looks hungry, right? It's not really uptaking enough because it's not transpiring. It's not going to transpire because you don't have it under enough light to make it photosynthesize, right? It's not going to transpire if it doesn't have enough light to make it work, right? So you actually might need to check your leaf surface temperatures and your lighting, and if it's not warm enough and if there's not enough light, it's not going to uptake those nutrients through transpiration. CalMag is one of the, or calcium specifically, is one of those nutrients that is uptaken through the process of transpiration. So as the plant transpires and lets out, you know, humidity, it's uptaking more from the root zone and it pulls up that calcium with it. So you might be running into a calcium deficiency because of the fact that you're not forcing the plant to transpire and uptake nutrients. I would start that. Give them a normal dose of nutrients and then put them under proper lighting. Fuck, why is it cold in here? I'm like, why am I starting to shiver? Fucking 70 degrees in here. Fucking tit balls. Yeah, I watched the Jungle Boys Athena stream, only about half of it though. Exotic phenos, that's what I was talking about. What you just said is negative diff. For my room specifically, I don't run a leaf surface temp of 82. I run 80, like 79 to 80. And for that to happen, basically I have a 4-degree delta. When my rooms are at full power, I have a 4-degree delta. And that means that if I'm running 84 in the room, my leaves are gonna be at 80. So I typically run about 82, 83 in the room, which gets me to about 79 on the leaves. So somebody mentioned gnats. On the Future Cannabis Project, you know, I actually turned down an interview for them. Before I knew who they were, I turned them down. Should I go? Should I be on there? I can get an interview whenever. Alright. So, hemp. Cool. Let's talk this shit, baby. I'm down. I love fighting IPM type shit. Because there's got to be a right process in order to kill it, right? So, A, are you 100% sure that they're fungus gnats? Add up the BTUs of all your equipment in your room grown by AK. So, you yeah, Microbe Life BMC for the gnats. Absolutely. All right. I'm just trying to walk you through my troubleshooting process. I could just give you the answer if you think it's 100% gnats, but my troubleshooting process when it comes to a pest that you've already seen in the garden is, first you have to identify it. Once you identify it, then you can put together a plan to combat it and then prevent it in the future. But there's been plenty of times where I looked at something and thought it was one thing, so I was so sure of it off that initial look that I didn't stop to take a deeper look and realize it was something else entirely. So fungus gnats could sometimes be, unless you're seeing the adults. If you're seeing the adults like crazy, then you can kind of know. But typically the larvae are super small, white, like opaque, and they have a black tip on, I think it's their head. It's either their head or their ass. I think it was their head, right? And that's it. And then, of course, you'll see the adults everywhere. To kill them, you're gonna have to do a couple things, right? First and foremost, clean everything. Look, let me show you something. I'm gonna be really transparent right now. And you guys know my floors are like stained, right? But check this out. See, like, just this little leaf right here? This little leaf. There's like a couple little leaves and shit from walking in and out of here. There's some like dust and shit. Sweep every fucking thing. Shop vac everything with the HEPA filter on. Okay? Clean up your corners, everything, right? Then what you're gonna do, you're gonna get shit like any towels, get them out. Buckets, get them the fuck out. Reservoirs, if they're open, fucking, you need to sanitize them really, really, really good, and then put a lid on them. Open reservoirs and buckets are breeding grounds if they're wet for fungus gnats. If you have any wetness anywhere on the floor, on your equipment, if you have wood, that shit gotta go. All right, you're gonna clean, you're gonna sweep, vacuum, wipe down your walls. Believe it or not, fungus gnats like to live on the ceiling and around like the backs of fans and shit. Like, go look here on this wall. Look, just right here. Here's a perfect example. Here's a dead fungus gnat right here on this wall. Here's another one. Here's another one. Why? Why are they on this wall? What's here for them? Right? Nothing. It's just a bright ass white wall, and they're stupid as fuck. So, you know, there's a couple dead fungus gnats in here, but they're adults and they're dead. I don't know what the fuck they died from, but they're dead. Probably CO2. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna wipe down your walls and all that shit, right? You're gonna clean your trays. Nothing should be on your trays. I'm a bad example right now because I've been working in here, but fucking clean your trays out. Make sure they're draining properly. Go to the end of your tray where everything drains through the little drain. Make sure that fucking area is clean. That area picks up a lot of shit. Don't let it be a collection zone. Vacuum that shit every week. Flush it down and brush it because it gets gross. It just happens. And that's where those fungus gnats are gonna thrive at. Where I collect all my nutrient runoff at the end in the reservoir down there, really should vacuum that out once or twice, you know, once or twice every grow, depending on how bad a buildup you get. If you run bacteria, if you can run a lid on yours, run a lid on yours. I can't, you can, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you don't have any standing water anywhere, right? So you're gonna do all of that. You know what all that is? That's prevention and sanitation, right? That's the bottom of the pyramid on the IPM schedule, or the IPM pyramid, I should say. All right, so you're gonna do all of that shit, okay? Now, next thing you're gonna do is, after everything is clean, you're going to go outside of your grow room. Come with me. And you're going to assess the area outside of your grow room. Why do you have to do this? Trust me, it needs to be done. Anytime you walk into your grow room, something doesn't even need to get attached to you, to your clothes. Just you walking creates airflow enough to pull insects like gnats in with you. So, me for example, danger zones for me is I've got like all these nutrients and open containers and shit like that over here, but this is aloe. I'm not really concerned with this. This is like pretty acidic by now. My kombucha is closed. If I left this open, there'd be a bunch of bugs over here and shit. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of the table, for the most part, is pretty clean. I don't have any liquids. I don't have any food or anything. This is a waste container for the other room. So like water and nutrients come in here, but it all gets pumped out. So really what stays in here is like the tiniest amount of water, and it's always pretty clean water. Nothing ever builds up here. I never see any insects. Could I put a lid on it still? Sure. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, once I'm done getting this grow back up and running, I'm gonna come out here and do a deep clean on all of this, sweep, vacuum, clean all this up. But assess the area that you walk through to get to your grow area and see, are there bugs? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see any fucking bugs in here today. I've got like 1 or 2 flies that are like, I keep that light on over there, so the bugs go over there. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to chill by this door too much if there's a bright ass light over there. You know what I'm saying? Assess that shit. And then assess where the fuck you're walking in and out of your garden from. Don't take your trash out there and then come back in and walk straight back into your garden. Bad idea. You're gonna bring shit in with you. All right, so now you got your garden clean. You got outside of your garden clean enough to where you're gonna stop bringing shit in, or you're gonna minimize your risk of bringing shit in. And then you're gonna start battling the issue in the garden. All right? You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna do a couple things. You need to familiarize yourself with the life cycle of the pest that you're fighting, whether it be a fungus gnat, aphid, whatever. You need to know what the life cycle of that pest is, how long those individual life cycles are. You don't have to memorize it, just look it up, right? So once you know that, then you start combating them and you start being able to tell when their populations are dying off. Personally, I like to utilize yellow sticky traps, not just the regular ones. I use sensor cards. The difference between regular yellow sticky trap and a sensor card is a sensor card has little squares on it. What that's used for is you can count the number of pests that you find in each square. What that does is it helps you see if their population is building, how fast, or if it's dwindling, right? So I place one of these. I go overkill. I place one of these next to every single plant. I stick them on the walls around the room. I stick them in here where I'm working. I stick them around that doorway. You know what I'm saying? I stick them fucking everywhere, right? These are gonna catch your adults, okay? Now, that don't help shit at all if you do not kill and stop the larva from hatching into adults. Okay, adults do not hurt your plants at all. Okay, what they do is they land on the leaves of your plants. They lay their eggs. The wind blows, you touch the plants, it knocks the eggs down into the medium. The eggs hatch, they become larvae. They remain in the larva state for, I think it's a week or 2, and then they become pupae and then adults. So what you are going to do is you're going to deploy these everywhere after you've cleaned, right? You're going to get rid of, if you have algae buildup, that's a home for fungus gnats, okay? Now, the best way to get rid of them, I've tried hydrogen peroxide, Lost Coast plant therapy, root cleaner, all of that. Fuck them. Don't use them. They're not going to be as effective as A. You're gonna do this 2 parts, okay? Microbe Life BMC, biological mosquito control. Now, you're gonna use this for pretty much anything. It's a biological larvicide. It's an aqueous suspension, which means that you add this to whatever you're gonna feed your medium, okay? And you can add this to standing water, you know what I'm saying? Or we can use it for our purposes, keeping fungus gnats out of our medium. This one tiny bottle in here is going to treat 2,500 gallons every other week for up to 13 months. So it treats a huge amount. Basically, what you're going to do to use this is I do 1 drop per gallon, okay? So if you read the actual instructions on here, the dosage cup provided, add Microbe Life BMC directly to the water to be treated. Use 2.5 mLs per 1,000 gallons of water, okay? Or 5 mLs per 2,000 gallons of water every other week. Treat weekly if necessary. So when I top feed my weekly teas, I use this, okay? Now, let's work that out real quick. 2.5 mLs per 1,000 gallons of water. So if we just start moving that decimal place over, for 100 gallons of water, you're gonna use 1/4 ml. 0.25 mLs per 100 gallons. All right? So, I mean, you guys can do the math on that. There's no impact to the NPK ratio. It's a bacteria, you guys. It's a bacteria, all right? It's a beneficial bacteria, okay? And yeah, so there's no impact to that, and you don't need to worry about the pH with this. So I do 1 drop per gallon, and that's enough. And you mix this in with whatever other teas, right? And you're gonna apply this first, right? And then the next day or the day after, you're going to apply SF nematodes. They're extremely difficult to get in the summertime without having them dead in the mail. You have to order them through a company that ships them with ice packs so that they stay cold and viable. You have to scope them once you get them after you rehydrate them and make sure that they're alive. Once you do that, then you go ahead and you add them just like to any other tea or whatever that you're going to apply in mass to every single medium. And so between this application, right, once a week, and if you have a real heavy infestation, I would say straight up go in at 1 ml, not 1 drop, 1 ml per gallon of this. It's a beneficial bacteria. It's not going to hurt your plants. You cannot overfeed this. You can literally use an entire bottle, right, in 1 application, and it will not harm the plants, okay? That's direct from the manufacturer, okay? So, if you have an infestation, 1 ml per gallon, right, and apply it like with every feed for pretty much 2 weeks, and I guarantee you, you're gonna see the populations just disappear. The other thing that you're gonna do is you're going to increase airflow, right? Don't do diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth, what it does is it's going to, yeah, they'll suck in the glass shards and they'll die, blah, blah. But look, it also drowns the medium because it reduces airflow and oxygen. So you can actually drown your medium from using too much diatomaceous earth. It's not good for it. So don't use DE, all right? If you want to use something like Natnix, which is like actual small glass shards that you can buy and pour on there. They have that. You know, get something like that, or just use a bunch of these sticky traps. Increase airflow everywhere. Spray your plants themselves with a double dosage of Lost Coast Plant Therapy. Put an extra shot of ISO in there and spray them with that. And those flyers aren't going to want to land there to lay their eggs anymore, right? And then you're also going to catch the remaining adults with this. They're not going to lay any more eggs. And if they do lay any more, they're going to get killed by that bacteria that's in your medium. So they're not going to do damage to your roots or your plants, and they're not going to live anymore to become adults. So you break the cycle and you cleaned up everything so that you no longer get them in the first place, you know? Look for leaks in your room, where are they getting in, etc., right? You don't need a lot of magnification to scope nematodes. Typically you can see them with like a 50 or 60 times scope. 100 times is more than enough. Oh, that was a good pop. So yeah, that's nematodes, and you're gonna use the SF nematodes. Don't, make sure you get the right ones. So yeah, that's how you combat fungus gnats. I'm trying to think if that doesn't work. Honestly, you've got such a. It'll work. Put it that way. It'll work. I've cleared rooms that have had like major infestations by using that process. But it's really about how well you clean. If you don't clean well, if you're leaving messes and breeding zones, they're going to continue to thrive. Alright, so I want to go ahead and swap batteries after this dab, and then we are actually going to go ahead and we're going to take care of a few things. So first thing is I need to get some root risers on the other table. I was gonna do a side-by-side, but I already see the difference in the dry back, and I want the dry back to be the same on both trays for feeding. So I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize and scrub down the root risers from the last run, just enough to cover this last table. I think I need like 33. And then we'll get those root risers on. We're gonna mix up some tea with some, what I just told you right now actually. This is gonna be my first IPM treatment today that we're gonna be doing. Everything that I just told you, I'm literally gonna go do. So we are going to get fucking to it. Y'all ready? I'm ready. I haven't made the store available yet because I'm still waiting on merch to get delivered to me so I can verify that it came out good before I open the store to you guys. The last thing I want to do is have a bunch of people go order a bunch of merch and then they get it and they're like, it's not good, or there's this mistake or that mistake now. So I gotta verify all the merch, and I keep adding more merch too. You can get this at any hydro store. Basically, most hydro stores will have this, or you can get it on Amazon. I think I got this one on maybe Amazon. I don't know. I can't remember, but it works amazingly well. Oh yeah, there was. What is this screenshot you sent me? Oh, your chat's fucked. Yeah, I just saw somebody else. Yeah, your shit's fucked, bunt. So Amazon is for nematodes. I'll send you the link to the Amazon for nematodes real quick. You're gonna get, depending on the size that your grow is, you're gonna get different packs. I can help you with that too. And they have different ones too. Like they have this other pack that comes with multiple types of nematodes. It has a triple blend, which gets rid of a lot of different things. This mix right here is really good. I haven't used it yet, but really, nigga? Hold on, let me give y'all a tiny URL. How y'all gonna make me fucking use a tiny URL for my own live stream, you ass fucks? There. What's up, Jojo? Cosio. Local nursery for nematodes, that's a good idea. So yeah, the beneficial nematodes from Nature's Good Guys on Amazon. You can get the triple blend, the SC, the SF, and the HB. I don't think I'm gonna try and pronounce those for you because I will butcher that shit out of that. Okay, I'm gonna try it. You guys are gonna help me with this, right? All right. That's the word we're looking at right there. Steiner Nema feltiae, fungus gnat exterminator. Heterohabitus bacteriophora. Heterohabitus bacteriophora, grub exterminator. And Steiner Nema carpocapsae, flea exterminator. Goes after ants, the queen specifically, asparagus beetles, armyworms, artichoke plume moths, bagworms, banana moths, banana weevils, berry root weevils, beet armyworms, bill bugs, black vine weevils, black cutworms, bluegrass weevils, cabbage maggots, carpenter worms, borers, iris tree vine, carrot weevils, caterpillars, kinch bugs, codling moths, chafers, citrus weevils, Colorado potato beetles, corn root worms, corn borers, corn earthworms, cotton bollworms, cranberry girders, cranberry root weevils, crane fly larvae, crambids, crepe flies, cucumber beetles, cutworms, European chafers, flea beetles, fleas, adult fire ants, fleas, fly larvae, fungus gnats, and more. Whew. Simply add water and release with a watering can, hose and sprayer, or other apparatus. Do not freeze. Store them between 36 and 45 Fahrenheit. Sun unactivated nematodes for up to 30 days. You could store them for 30 days. Wow. You have to release them within 6 hours. Store them in the dark. They're susceptible to ultraviolet light, and the ground must be moist. Moist. Whew. That was a mouthful. Shremanamaniya shemananims. That's right. It's exactly